Hello everybody and welcome to Fruits Basket episode 6 anime review. This episode, it was a building episode, wasn't it? It was a building. There was some solid jokes. They introduced some characters, but for the most part, we built, and what we're building to scares me a lot. Anyway, let's crack right into it. So the episode begins, and we are at the culture festival for the school. A lot of stuff happening at once. She's made some onigiri, which I wrote down wrong in my notes. It's origiri. That's not a thing. It says it on her apron and everything. That's how I know I'm very smart. Funny bit with Kyo. Blimmin', is this cannibalism? Made me chuckle. People looked at me weird. That's fine. And then, of course, the star of the show, Yuki in a dress. And someone told me what that thing was called, where it's like Pretty Boy. And I don't remember what it is. I did read it though, so don't tell me again, I'll look it up in the previous episode, but thank you to that person. That's always good to know information, it's always good. Yeah, I thought I'd spend more time doing the culture festival stuff, but basically I just got rid of it this first bit. That's fine, we had bigger fish to fry, because onigiri is that fish? I'm thinking of the other thing, aren't I? I am. What happened next? Let's find out. Following the intro, they then did a bit where Yuki was embarrassed. He was very embarrassed. He was very bashful. It was kind of weird because he's usually, maybe prideful was the wrong word, but he's cool, he's calm, he's collected. And now here he is, he's like nervous and that. He looked a bit pissed off, if I'm being honest, but that's fine. He is a boy. I don't know how I would react to being told to wear girls' clothes or kind of peer pressured into it. I don't know how I would react, but fair play to him. He rocked it, so thumbs up. What happens next? What happens next is the mysterious foreigner shows up. Mister. It's a boy. I think it's a boy. It is. It definitely is because of the thing later on. Mommy Joe. I wrote this down. Mommy Joe. Which shows up with a butler, and the butler's name I did write down. Forgive me for checking his name's Hattori. Forgive me for checking my notes for names. It's going to happen. His name is Hattori. He's not a butler, he's a doctor. And then they were like, yeah, Yuki's got some disease or something. I missed what it was exactly. But, yeah, don't do that. Don't. I can feel that becoming a feels point later on. I can feel it. Don't do that. Please. I just want this to be nice and wholesome. It's going to get feelsy. I've just got a feeling, I know. What happened next? Obviously they're somas as well, so I didn't even feel like mentioning that because it should have been obvious. It's obvious, okay? Then what happens is her friends start catching on to her. They know something's up at this point. They're like, you're acting very friendly with the somas. And she's like, no, what are you talking about? So then Tohru and the blonde kid, Mommy Joe? I'm checking my notes again. Mommy Joe go behind some curtains. Kyo's there too. And some shenanigans happen. He turns into a rabbit. People are like, where'd that rabbit come from? And then Yuki does like a super kawaii save because there was clothes. And he's like, oh no, I'm wearing wrong clothes. And I'm like, you're pulling that off too well. And then he looked annoyed about it that he pulled it off. Like, if you got it, rock it, man. Not Rocket Man. Is that a movie coming out? I don't know. Yeah, new little kid character. I guess he's kind of new. Fine. Like, he's a bit annoying, but he'll be fine. It's early days. It's really hard for me to judge based on the little bit we've seen. He seemed a bit hyper, and hyperactiveness makes me tired, especially when it's late. But yeah, so and the other one. Well, we learn more about him later on, so I'll save it. I'll save it for the next part, or later on. Yeah. Following that, there is then a meeting on the rooftop between the somas and plus Tohru, who is effectively a soma. Yeah, basically, I've got to check. There, Hattori takes pictures of Kyo and Yuki, which was pretty funny. I'm going to admit, didn't see that coming. And then they mope a little bit. Kyo goes after him to stop that. Yuki gets annoyed and starts stripping. And like, I don't really know what to make of that. I mean, I get the point. He was like, I'm angry, so I'm going to take off my clothes. But he gets it stuck in his hair. And I'm like, of course he got it stuck in his hair. Like, that makes sense. But then Tohru's like, hey, if people think you're cute, it's because they like you. And he's like, you're cute in a dress. And then she goes all blushy blushy doki doki after he walks off. I'm like, no, Team Kyo. Damn it, Yuki. I don't even dislike you. I just like Kyo more. That's the point we're at this point. Yeah, I wouldn't. Would I be annoyed if? Don't tell me the ending. Obviously, I say it every week because I'm enjoying it. We haven't even got to the love triangle part yet. I mean, you can see what's going on, but it's still just setting it up. And when we get there, it's gonna be mental. By mental, I mean my heart won't be able to take it because I can feel the feels because somebody's got to be disappointed and sad. Oh God. I've had an idea for what the ending could be, and I'm going to keep it to myself. But if they do that, I'm going to cry on camera. That's just a thing that's going to happen. But anyway, what happened next segment? Next we get a little bit on the stairs. Yuki warns Tohru about Hatoru and says, hey, don't trust this man. He can erase the memories. Which Tohru should take under consideration going into the next episode. She should listen to what Yuki has to say, because again, I don't want feels this early. Well, I mean, I'm alright. I'm up for a good feels. Yeah. But anyway, then her friends show up and are like, hey, are you going out with the Somas? One of them, Yuki. I think they specified. And she's like, oh no, we're just living together. Which I get that in that situation you might blab it out. It was still a bit like, come on, Tohru. I mean, she's kind of airheaded. It fit her character. It was good. It made sense. And her friends were like, what? Excuse me? And then she had to explain everything to them. And then friends decided, we're going to scope the place out. Please invite us round for dinner. And that's what happened, essentially. But that's the next part. And because it's a longish part, I'm going to separate it from this part. Yeah, liked it. I don't remember her friends' names, if you couldn't tell. I will remember in future. Yeah. They didn't seem like they'd be that relevant, but they are. Also, I've just remembered, before we go to the next part, earlier on when Yuki was in the dress, he was being like protected by people. Like they were holding hands and like circling around him to like stop others getting in. I thought that was quite funny. It made sense. He's like the prince of the school, whatever. It was good. It was good. I don't know if any of them are actual characters or if they're just, generic nobodies, but that's fine. So they get to the house, the Soma's house, and really funny, they're like, dog. And then the Somas freak out, but they're like, there's a dog right there. And it's like, oh, that's what you meant. Of course it is. This happens later on as well with, they say like cat, rat, and they're like, what have we done? Like, don't freak out. They're just saying animal names, Keep it calm, dudes. Keep it calm. What else happens? Yeah, then I think we find out, if they've told us this before, I forgot, Shigure is a novelist. He writes books. And I feel like that might come into play later, but probably not. Or maybe. I don't know. It's a thing that could come into play. But then Tohru leaves briefly, Shigure also leaves, so it's the two friends and the two Somas. And the blonde friend is lamenting that, hey, she wasn't there for Tohru. Oh man, am I a crap friend? And then the Somas are like, she don't care about that. You're still good friends. And I'm like, good job, Somas. They said it in a very, not embarrassed, but they were like, hey, we know how she works kind of way. It was good. It showed that, they've gotten to know Tohru better. Yeah. It showed that, if you go from, the beginning to now, and it's like, hey, they actually interacted and know each other's habits and stuff. It's good. I like it. I like when it's not insta-romance. I like the build. The build is almost as fun as the finale. But, I mean, the finale's better because of the build. That makes sense. Yeah. What else happened? Tohru brought cards to play that game again, and it's like, oh, they're all friends. They're a friendship group. I support this. I can't wait for Kagura to show up and accuse the other two of trying to get with Kyo, and they'll be like, no, stop it. That's a thing that's going to happen, right? I can see that happening. Can absolutely see that happening. I'm imagining it. It's not even... Let's move on. Short part next, there's a Shigure, I think it was Shigure, is going to talk to a guy who I assume is Akito? Akito? Yep, Akito. Checking my names. Because he seems like he wants the boys and Tohru to have a falling out, or he doesn't want Tohru to get on with the boys. I don't know why. I mean, it's something to do with probably Soma traditions that I don't know about. I'm not a traditionalist. I'm all for revolutionary tactics that make things easier. Instead of just, smacking rocks. If there was no revolution, we'd be smacking rocks together. 2019, I said that. Quote it. But yeah, Akito is probably the closest thing we've got to a villain, unless they're going to swerve us next week. Maybe next week. It's got to be next week. But yeah, this show doesn't really need a villain, but like someone that's badder. Badder, that's not a word. Yeah, I'm okay with that. And they said, like, I can't remember the exact quote, but he said the opposite of something that they said about Tohru. So like they're going to be polar opposites, and that's an interesting dynamic. Like, yeah, they said Tohru will never ask the world, and then Akito was like, I know, I always ask the world, and I'm like, that's good. They've mirrored it. They're going to be fated rivals. I don't really know where they're going to go with that, but it's an interesting concept. I'll say that. Up next, we have Tohru telling backstory of again how she was bullied a lot as a kid. I don't know why people were mean to Tohru. She seems very nice. Stop it. Stop Tohru bullying. 2019. When is it set? Well, I mean, this version's set modern day because of the flat screen TV. I think someone commented they were like, it's set in the 90s originally. I'm like, there was no flat screen TV. There might have been some flat screen TVs. I'll cover my bum. But there weren't, commercially available flat screen TVs. But yeah, Tohru got bullied. Kyo's listening in. I acted like he was at the door. He wasn't. He was just, the door was open because people don't know how to shut doors in anime. Yeah. She got bullied. She chased the kid. Kid gave her a hat and took her home. Was it Ghost Kid? Or was it one of the Somas? My money's on it being Kyo. Because she's had more interactions and stuff with Yuki, it feels like. And he's fired the first shot with the you'll be cute in a dress line. So now, Kyo, although he was listening, wouldn't he know? It didn't seem like he knew from... Did we see his reaction or did it just cut away? Oh man, now I'm second guessing myself. Don't tell me who it was again. Don't tell me spoilers, because I'll just block you. So, oh man, the hat. It's another thing that's going to come into play. It's one of the Somas. It's got to be. Oh, I don't want to just give dead air, but I could just think about this for a while. What else happened? Then the friends were like, oh man, look, they knew you so well, and then they went to sleep, but the way they were sleeping looked really uncomfortable for all three of them involved. Like, they had their arms up like this because they were holding hands and stuff. It didn't look comfortable. Like, Tohru, I get that they're your friends, but you need to sleep. Sleep is good for you, which I am going to do after this video probably. So yeah. Then, final segment, next morning, the friends are there. They've approved of their living quarters. Hooray! And then, phone goes. It's for Tohru. Well, it is for Tohru, yeah. Also, before that, I've forgotten, but I've glanced at my notes to remember. They ask if they can come hang out, and Tohru's like, hey guys, can she come hang out? They come out, can they come hang out sometimes? I'm losing my voice. It's a long video. And they eventually give in because they can't say no to Tohru's face. So yeah, the friends are going to show up occasionally, just like reading manga and stuff around their house. That's what I think. That's what I imagine Japanese school kids do. I have no evidence to support this, but if anime's taught me anything, that's what happens. But anyway, phone call. That's the more exciting part. It's from Hattori, the brain guy, doctor guy. He's a doctor, and he's like, "Hey, you're invited to the Soma estate." I don't think he actually had a time or a day. He just said you're invited, and don't tell anyone because that's bad. Can't tell no one. I don't know what would happen if she did tell someone. Probably a brain would go. He says, I trust you know what would happen if you did, don't you? That was way more sultry than I meant it to be. It was meant to be threatening. But yeah, then he also says, hey, you might meet Akito. So I think we're going to get a stare down between them, and he might try and convince her to not hang out with the Somas. And then she's going to be like, no, I like them. They're my friends. That's what I think is going to happen. I hope they don't swerve us with Akito and have him be like a really nice guy. If he's like fake nice, like clearly like, oh, this is unnerving, he's too nice, that would be good. But if he's just generally a nice person, like that kind of, that'd be weird. Don't do that. Because, I mean, Yuki don't like him. I don't think Kyo's really mentioned him. Because he's an outcast. But yeah, I'm curious to know, I'm curious to know where the plot is going. Like, not just like the romance aspect, but like the everything else aspect. Like, what's up with the Somas? What's the great plan? Or like, why don't they want Toma hanging out with them? Toma? Tohru. They're both T names. And one's a boy name. I guess it could be a girl's name. I'm rambling. Yeah. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode and stuff. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys.